Away we go in Tampa, Florida, and out to the 25. The ball.
Bargain price, that's Baker Mayfield, and then perform the way that he has as a top 10 quarterback. He's been really good.
This one.
Bookends there at tackle. They do tend to leak pressure in the middle.
Here's one caught by Otten. Play action from Baker. That's Evans, wide open, and a first.
And underneath that dig route by Evans.
Here is Rachaad White, his first touch. Avonte Maddox is back. As White finds enough.
Several weeks.
Here's White. Big hole to the.
And more on the perimeter.
That was a little miscue. White. Well played by Bradbury, but broken tackles and torn pack. So they've got a lot of question marks in that secondary, and they've been giving up a lot of yards over the last month plus. Here's Mayfield, can't find anywhere to go. And with his wrapped really tight, I might be running around looking like Captain Hook. Here's one into the end zone.
Grab at the top of the route. Yeah, it's Maddox. He's
Carolina in week 18. No touchdowns in that game. This one is incomplete for the Chase McLaughlin from 28.
That he did do, and we saw it last year.
Here is a handoff to Swift. And Deion
throughout this ball game.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? 2 plays, 2 runs. First down throw and able to zip it out.
No A.J. Brown, and he's gotten more targets here in recent games.
Hurts pulls it out of there and is able to come
all of the field. The Buccaneers, all 11 guys within 5 yards of the ball.
And a blitz. Here's their shot. Look like
good coverage nonetheless by Tampa Bay and a big stop.
Braden Mann hangs it a mile high.
He was going to be watching this game as well because of Baker.
Bit there at the end. But he always worried about who's rooting for who. Here is a pass caught. And a big play for the Buccaneers by
personal foul, face mask, defense, number 52.
Right at the very end of that play, Cunningham with the
back to the air, deep shot. Evans dropped it.
Gets right by James Bradbury, and Baker drops this ball in perfectly. When you look over the last month or so, Baker as well, but that ball was money.
Here is White. It's 3rd down and 7. Mayfield wide open. There's more again. His second catch. Still working through this secondary. And a touchdown, Tampa Bay.
They collide in man coverage, and that's what frees up David Moore. You know, a lot of times you question when he starts as though he's going to help in protection. When he starts to drag, here comes Maddox, and he's the one who takes out Eli Ricks. And this is really coverage 101. When you're talking about playing man coverage, you've got
a touchdown in a wild card game on his 29th birthday. David Moore is a handoff
tonight.
2nd and 7 for Philadelphia. They fake the handoff and throw a completion to.
I know they're backed up, but it's similar to where they were on their first possession when they threw it as well.
This is incomplete for
to a fast start or not, and it's just everything has been a challenge for Philadelphia. Something as simple as just catching the football.
Tompkins on the punt return, weaving his way in the defense for the Eagles. After taking over for Sean Desai, the numbers are 2nd down and 6. Out of the backfield, pass is caught by Edmonds. First down.
Dallas, but that's when it all kind of changed, and I thought it was an overreaction after a couple of losses, and it has not improved at all.
Here's Palmer on the end around.
Body language that they're really into this ball game.
2nd down and 1, and
they're averaging 5.5 yards a carry.
Here's Rachaad White bottled up here, and there's nowhere to go, and the Eagles.
The Fletcher Coxes, Jordan Davises, and Jalen Carters, they got to be a factor.
Here's a pass over the middle, caught. Otten again. Another big play for the Buccaneers.
Matchup at the linebacker level.
Here's White. winners of the NFC South. Baker trying to fire up the home crowd. They're off to a good start, trying to stamp their ticket for a date with the Lions on Sunday. Mayfield in trouble, and down he goes. Brought down by 4-yard field goal try from this spot. Mayfield is almost intercepted.
Evans, and he's trying to fit it into the middle, but if he stayed outside, he's got Mike Evans wide.
Who absolutely drills it for the Eagles.
Adversity, he went through it at Alabama when he was in college, but the time is now for him for this. We had been told coming in they were going to run it behind that line, and they haven't.
Here's a completion to Smith. Brought down at the 4. On first down. Another completion. Again, it's Smith breaking tackles. What a good run after the catch. Another. Here's Watkins looking for a block. And
defense.
Hurts to his left, fakes the throw, and now got. They're coming. Incomplete.
Lines, and even on that play, nobody running away from a defender in man.
47-yard try, and Mr. Reliable for the Eagles now.
And end up winning the South, and here they are.
Play action to start this possession. That's Tompkins spinning, breaking.
He hasn't had a lot of help, but there's just no running game. He's had to do it all through the air.
Down the sideline, off the head.
You see him catch so many times. He tracks the ball so well, just not the game on the vertical routes.
It's 3rd down and 6. Baker has to pull it down. Mayfield on the run. Long way to go, and he gets it. Felt in the NFL as he turns and hands to Rashad White.
Tampa Bay, Todd Bowles and Jason Light both told him the same, and that's all he needed to hear.
Here's Tompkins, still spinning. And by the way, his secondary is tackled here tonight, and the linebackers. On first down, that's a drop by Kate. 2nd down and 10. Here's Godwin. He gets involved. He is able to carry. White plows ahead.
Philadelphia, if they can make a stop.
Here's a pitch to White. He's got it. First athleticism is off the charts and was on display pre-draft. This is off the hands and helmet. That one's caught by inside field goal range for McLaughlin. This one is tipped in his 5th season in the NFL. Snap a bit high. Kick is perfect.
Opportunities. They've not hit them over the last 6 weeks, and then if they don't have that, they really haven't had much at all.
But 2 plays, 2 runs, and a first down.
Ineligible man downfield offense, number 51.
They still talked about running the ball behind the offensive line. They just haven't done it.
They have more yards downfield. Remember playing with that dislocated middle finger. Here's a double move, and there's Julio Jones with a big play for him out. He was able to recover. 4.5 to go in the half. They do hand off. Fake it to Swift. Good protection this time. Aired out. Smith got him. Devontae to the 5. 98 yards for Devontae Smith. Hurts keeps wide open. A walk-in touchdown for Goddard.
Throw by Hurts, and they finish it off with a touchdown to Goddard.
Well, that's going to be a flag. And we know what they do when they're 1 yard away.
Offside defense, number 27.
Yeah.
This has got the bad finger. Don't forget about that. Pushed from behind. And he didn't get it. So the penalty on the extra point try gives the Eagles a chance from the 1. And Tampa Bay's defense up to the task. 7-point game.
Greg Gaines, who was on the nose, but you've got this face mask right here had a hold of him.
Yeah, we'll check in with John Perry, who's here as Rashad White gets the edge left side and left each team 2.5 to go. On first down, Mayfield in trouble and just throws it.
I know they've had to settle for some field goals, but after that touchdown, they need to make a stop here before the half.
Protection. Otten spinning grab to the. That'll be on Saturday on ABC and ESPN. Here's Mayfield airing it out and overthrowing.
Get into the playoffs week 18, followed it up with a big win against Cleveland.
White. See what Scrappy brings us as Mayfield is protected and now time runs out. The Eagles get a sack.
And they're going to get the ball back to their offense with a chance and plenty of time on the clock.
End over end punt. A drop. Julio Jones is off being evaluated for a concussion. This is to Gainwell.
It's off the clock when you're in the hurry up and you start changing receivers from one side of the field to the other.
Gainwell lost his footing and now
They would open it up right from the start.
Pressure off the edge from Tryon Shoyinka. They've moved 10 yards in almost a minute. It's second down and 10. There's Devontae Smith and a first down, and he has delivered. On first down, blitz again. No surprise. Down the sideline. Pressure off the edge. Hurts. Goddard. Watkins. Long way to go, and he won't get there. Brought to game of this long weekend. Stay tuned. The All-State halftime coming up next.
Without A.J. Brown, their #1 wide receiver, Julio Jones is banged up. You know, now you would think more than ever they would at least
111. They start with a run. It's Swift over the right. Just backpedaling and heaving it downfield. Pressure off the edge from Diaby. Hurts is sacked. Average time to pressure just 2 seconds, and man barely got that one away. It takes a sideways bounce, and now
they brought the pressures with the ball having to come out quickly. The Eagles just haven't been able to make Tampa pay.
It comes out quick here for Carolina, albeit a younger team, but that's what cemented the divisional title. Mayfield out to his left.
But Baker Mayfield with the quick passing game has been really good.
This isn't quick, looking for somewhere to go with it, and now being chased, finds White. And down goes Mayfield.
Baker trying to step up. Fletcher Cox makes a huge play on him, and he did.
Survived the first half, down by 7. Protection for Hurts, and off he goes. First time he's done this tonight, but a flag flies.
There were 2 fouls on the play, holding offense, number 51. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 54. Those penalties offset.
Would have been the first rushing attempt had it stood for Jalen Hurts tonight. Smith is wrapped up by Dean. Hurts keeps. Here they come. Hurts over the middle. It's incomplete for Gut.
Pass interference, defense, number 9.
Grab and restrict while the ball's in the air, making it pass interference.
Run it 7 times in the game. Here's number 8. On Tryon Shoyinka right there.
Yeah, right here is where the hold is, and been able to come up with something to beat this blitz of Tampa's.
Handoff to Swift. Blitz off the edge. Gainwell out there trying to make a move, and Jamel Dean
In the run to where they can get the ball and just make them pay, with the exception of the one time over the top that scored the touchdown.
Eagles really feeling the absence of A.J. Brown here tonight. Tompkins family with us here tonight, involved in the coin toss before this game. Here's Otten. He's had a nice night. He does have a couple of drops. Rachaad White cuts back and has a first down plus. Coming on their second. This one is caught by Godwin.
But the best thing that he's done tonight, he has had some pressure, but he doesn't hold on to it often.
Rachaad White
Into the organization and has shown great leadership on both sides of the ball.
He's in trouble here and sacked. Demonstrative and as excited as you'll see Jalen Hurts on the bench. Fair catch by Covey, who hauled so far tonight by Tampa Bay. They hand to Gainwell, and there's not much there, so he'll try the other side. Levante David, 12th season on a one-year deal. Took a pay cut to come back. Hurts got hit. So now 3rd and 6. Hurts. David at his feet in the end zone. The ball came out, but they are going to. It's for Tampa Bay.
Intentional grounding offense. Number 1, the foul occurred in the end zone and results in a safety.
But he has really grown as the year has gone along.
Here is Tompkins after the free kick. Gainwell, the Bucs with good field position again. And a 2-score lead. Here's White breaking a tackle.
Out of this game, but they've got to start having some answers on the offensive side of the ball.
2nd and 4. Here's another broken tackle. This is the rookie Trey Palmer, and he is gone. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
James Bradbury on the outside at corner and just unable to make a tackle. But even in the back end, Kevin Byard, I don't know what that is, but we've seen enough of it all year long and show the problems that Philadelphia has had and why they had the collapse that they had to end this season.
Here's Boston Scott trying to deliver a spark. As Swift carries up the middle, and that's his best of the night. Bucs week 3, tonight 36. Nothing.
Did the same. And they've gotten after Hurts in the pass rush.
Here's one downfield for Smith. And a first down inside the 40. It's 20. But a game that so far has been dominated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here at home, up by 16. 1 quarter to go. Leading the Eagles 25-9. These two teams' seasons as we start the 4th. High snap from Kelsey. Hurts just throws it away.
That he has done this year. Nobody wants to admit to it, but this was not a team expected to do anything.
This is a catch.
It's hardly looked anywhere else with the ball.
Here is Swift, and he's brought against the reigning NFC champs. 2nd down and 12. Hurts pulls it out, finds Goddard. Flag is down. That he'll be guilty of that if it's him.
Ineligible man downfield offense.
Recognizing it and seeing what these offenses are doing, and you're seeing it called a lot.
Here is Swift, nothing. Hurts gets out over the middle, Swift, but he's got a long way to go. Elliott is so good.
Whether or not he wants to go for it, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do.
Defense, number 27, lined up in the neutral zone.
Zion McCollum, who's made some nice plays, was lined up in the neutral zone. Pressure on Hurts to the end zone. Incomplete. 16-point game. Mayfield over the middle. That pass is caught by Payne Durham.
A defense that wants to be that aggressive.
Here's Godwin on the sideline.
Throughout the entire ball game.
2nd down and 5. High snap.
10-1 was unable to get, if they lose this, unable to get to 12 wins.
Here's a completion.
Coach, but I think the losses of the coordinators has impacted this team.
They lost Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, there he is, 41. He's got a hold of Brandon Graham. 8th year, and what a career he has had. This might be his swan song.
1st and 20. Here's a beautiful throw. Start a career, an NFL record. Had 1,255. First down carry.
This many games. It's what's impressed me about Emmitt Smith's rushing record.
Here's White. What a great job they did last night of telling the story of the Lions.
All the Bowl a year ago could potentially lose his job, but Jeff Lurie has shown, regardless of whatever happens in the coaching ranks, it's going to have a different look and feel to that roster. Jalen Hurts, and he can still play at a high level. Pro Bowl.
Here's Rachaad White. Well inside field goal range, lofted up. Godwin, touchdown, Tampa Bay.
You're going to take a look at it. Here they all come, and he knows he's got to get the ball out. He just throws it up in the air and hoping that his guy will make a play, and these are hard on a defensive back. Avonte Maddox, he's not able to stay with him, and it's why they're moving on.
Hurts underneath, finds Swift. He stays, buddy, but when I came into the NFL, I was told to tamp that down. Here's a sack by the...
They did a quarterback at a bargain price, and they got Baker Mayfield, and they needed him to play like a top 10 quarterback if they were going to have any opportunity.
3rd down and 8, and a conversion.
Pass interference, offense.
Pass interference to take the first down away.
It's a chance on him, and that's been quite a marriage with him in this offense.
Extra men on the rush on 4th down, and
as I mentioned, Baker bet on himself, and now it's time to pay the man. Where he is. I mean, they've got it rolling in Motor City. He'll be spinning the record.
Yes, no doubt. Edmonds is ready. 4th down and 6. And
it's a challenge, of course, and it will be for Houston, but C.J. Stroud, wow.
Who knows what his future is. Here's Gainwell. A date with the Lions coming up. This has been a presentation of the NFL playoffs on ESPN and ABC. On Saturday, the divisional playoff game between Houston and Baltimore at 4:15 Eastern on ESPN and ABC. For all of us, we send it to Scott Van Pelt.